Welcome to Amazon Podcast, episode number 15. So today it's Henry Miller, usual host. I'm here with Kristoffer.
Hello.
You always say the same hello.
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 Like the Hyacinth hello.
Yeah. You can tell that you got brought up with British TV.
Actually, I did not.
No?
No.
It's a recent addition.
I think it actually ran on Danish television when I was younger, but I never did watch it. I do know who Onslow is. Is that his name?
No idea who
Onslow?
you're talking about. Oh, Onslow.
Yeah, the guy in the wife beater.
Yeah.
Who's always, and then keeping up appearances.
Old school.
Yeah.
But you didn't get here. You didn't come here to hear about British TV. You came here to hear about the Ninth Age. And what are we talking about today, Kristoffer? What's the main topic of today?
The main topic of today is the new paths of magic. And
Not Law's path.
Sorry,
Not Law's path.
I said path.
Yeah, I was just clarifying.
Yeah. We preemptively brought 4 beers to the table because we know we're going to be drinking when we say the wrong things.
The rest are in the fridge. Yeah.
So we're gonna go through our preview of the Path of Magic and tell you a little bit about some things about them.
Yeah. And first up, I think we just go news and rumours. So obviously the big news is the sky is falling, and stuff's happening. The new rules are coming on Tuesday, the 25th of October.
Yeah.
We've had a sneak peek of them, and we're going to do an army book review on Sunday, which should be out hopefully Monday, Tuesday, for all the elf books. And there's some changes coming. That's what we'll say. What other news and rumours are there? I'm going to England on November. We said that last episode, but I have no idea what's going to happen now with the army. I don't know what I'm playing. I haven't painted anything. Oh, and Kristoffer, you've been doing some painting, so let's have a hobby section. What's happened in the hobby?
So a while back we talked about, I think it was episode 9 or something. We talked about my Assassin's Creed /Angel project, and I've been working on that.
Yeah, really good actually.
I have
Got the airbrush out.
Got the airbrush out, painted my level 400 Pegasus, or well, that's what I'm going to play it as, which is an Angel of Sorrow from Raging Heroes. I think we'll either link my Instagram profile in the podcast description, or Henry will upload some photos so you can see what we're talking about. And I've been painting some Tower Guard as well. I came across a place that sells mosaic workshops and mosaic tiles and very random things.
Little pieces of stone.
Yeah, I brought my 2 nieces there for them to do something different. And while I was there, I was actually painting the Tower Guard while they were doing mosaics. And I noticed that the store actually had some, and they were the perfect size. They were 20mm slabs, or like small tiles.
Yeah.
20mm by 20mm slabs of marble, of green marble. So I bought a bunch of those for almost no money, and I'm going to use those for like palatial plates, marble bases for my Tower Guard.
Yeah, so look like inside the palace for the Tower Guard.
Yeah. For
the Emperor, what do you call it? The Papal Guard is what it's going to be, right?
Yeah, and then I have to do a little bit of tweaking to make it look unified with the rest of the army, but I think I can manage.
They look really, really cool.
It's. I wanted to say initially that it's difficult to work with, but consider the fact that I don't really need to paint them. I don't need to paint them at all, actually.
Yeah.
I just need to gloss varnish them, basically.
Yeah, they look really good.
And it looks completely painted, and it's basically saves you a bunch of time. And it looks, I have to say, it actually looks amazing. I mean, it was your idea, Henry, to put them on the Papal Guard. I just brought one marble slab initially, and just to see how it looked, and it looked great. So I went down there and bought a bunch.
Yeah, so, I think if anyone's thinking about doing like a marble-based army, or even just a stone-based army, go down to your local mosaic shop if such thing exists.
Oh yeah, but I mean, remember that marble comes in many different colors, both white and black and green, and also red actually. And it's dirt cheap. I think I paid 30 kroners for 100 grams. No, for 80 grams. It's around
£3, probably
Yeah.
bit less in
£3 for 20 bases.
bit less in
two.
today's exchange rate.
Hashtag Brexit.
Yeah.
So maybe £2 worth of, and then for 25 bases, right? That would be the.
No, it's the opposite, isn't it? It's higher. No,
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So it would be £4 for 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. £4 for 25 bases. It's anyway. It's cheaper
than plastic bases.
Yeah, and it really does look amazing. It's you have to. I think you have to gloss varnish it because it's a chalk stone. I think you say so. It absorbs a lot of moisture. So if you don't gloss varnish it, you don't really actually get the color out of it that's actually in there. If you have a piece of marble, try to if it's raw marble, then you can put some water on it, and you'll see immediately what I mean. Immediately. But absolutely. I could easily see highborn elves on white marble bases.
Oh, that would be really cool. Actually,
that would be,
didn't think about that.
That'd be very cool.
Could rebase my army.
It will look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm 100% certain, and you can obviously paint on it as well. It's actually.
Oh, you're giving me ideas now, Christopher.
And so I wanted to for my angels. I wanted to actually like basically, what do you say, spawn flowers or how do you say that? Like have them come out.
Flowers.
Have them.
What's the new spell called? What's the new spell called in? Is it Druidism?
Yeah.
Druidism.
Summer growth.
Summer growth.
Well,
yeah, same as before.
But it's like I wanted there to be some flowers on the bases, and I wanted them to like sprout from the bases of the angels because it would look really cool. I thought.
Yeah, it just looked really good.
But I wasn't really content with buying basically flower tufts, from what you might know from
miniature wargaming.
Yeah, miniature wargaming sets, but they're called battle. Oh, what are they called? It's actually a Danish company.
I have some in the cupboard. If I'm going to look if you want.
Oh my god, what are they called? Danish company. Make tufts. Battlefield something? War paints? What are they called?
It's not called Battlefield.
Oh my god.
Army Painter.
Army Painter, there you go. Army Painter. Or Mini Natura, for those of you who are a little bit familiar with how Army Painter actually gets their stuff. They actually repack Mini Natura products, which is a model railway German company that makes a lot of different basing materials. Well, long story short, what I figured I would do was actually cut to the chase and then actually get some stuff from a model railway company to use the flowers from, and I did a lot of Googling.
Much Googling was done.
It was very hard to find, but I did find some in the end, which are the perfect size. So they're actual plastic flowers that have to be put together, and you have to like use a tweezer to turn the leaves on the.
It's quite excessive.
It is.
But it does look very good.
And then I could paint them afterwards. But it looks amazing. Even if I do say so much, it looks much better than Tufts.
Yeah, we'll put a link down to Kristoffers' Instagram profile, and you can check out his most recent angel conversion models.
Yeah.
What have I been doing in the hobby?
Skeletrons.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been building more skeletons for the Vampire Covenant, and it's been an endless horde of halberd skeletons that I've been converting from Empire soldiers.
It's actually my fault a little bit.
Yeah,
I introduced Henry to the concept of the raise list. You just go full out necromancers and then make your skeleton units 80 man in no time.
Yeah.
So you need 40 first, and then you need another 40 when you raise them.
Yeah, and originally I have 20 zombies painted, and 40 skeletons with helmet and shield, and 35 with halberds. And Kristoffers persuaded me to pretty much double.
You have to double that.
I have loads of zombies, but they're not painted.
Well,
but I have to convert every single one of my zombies and skeletons with green stuff, everything.
You've
kit
been
bash.
loving every single one of
I do love it. It's so much fun.
But actually, something that's interesting is, as we'll talk about later, is if that concept is even viable anymore with the changes to Magic.
Yeah,
we've no idea how this is going to show up. Actually,
I'll give you an initial preview if I can find the lore. 2 seconds. Fuck.
So, Evocation is the law of choice.
It's no longer valid. No longer valid in my mind.
No?
No, that list is gone.
Well, that depends on the evocation values.
No, because the old list was relying on the altar to give you +2,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could cast on a 3+.
Right.
But now the spell is a 6+.
Well, if you
Instead
get
of a
plus
5+.
3, then it's the same. Still a 3+.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's still valid.
Still valid. If it works, though. We have no idea how this works. So there are massive changes to Magic.
Yeah, big changes.
Everyone should think about it this. Like, we tried really hard to find an angle on how to approach this, and we came up to the conclusion that we should look at this like the old paths are gone. Nothing that it doesn't exist anymore.
The old version 1.2
Two.
is a new version,
Yeah.
and that's how people should see it.
Yeah. You shouldn't. It would be a mistake to do a comparative analysis of the laws as compared to the old ones. Although that would obviously be the starting point for many people who would start to analyze this, but we think that it's better to talk about each law and what it does out of context to what it used to do or what other laws did, other paths did. What other paths did before that.
So to start with, I think we're just gonna take you through a little bit of the fluff behind the 10 new paths. So I just have basically what I have now is I have the document, the full polychrome edition, full color version of the battle paths of magic.
With, very important to add, actually stunning artwork.
Yeah, really, really fantastic artwork. It's really good.
And there are some talented people working on this, absolutely.
Yeah, so really great job, guys. And like the guys who are on the layout team, really, really nice. The guys on the art team, very nice. I think even Raw's team,
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic piece of work.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely on par with old GW army books and rule books and whatnot. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, the way that I understand the fluff behind the magic is where in days of yore there was a winds of magic which blew across the land and was temperamental and things like that. Now it's kind of described as a veil. So there's kind of like some kind of boundary between this world and the magical world of magic, and there's kind of like small rifts in the veil that the wizards have the sight or something like the power to control, and these small rifts can cause big explosions of magic, and each kind of magic is kind of expressed in 3 different or 4 different ways. There's like the magic of souls and spirits, and that's the paths of evocation, witchcraft, and shamanism. And this says that encompass the ability to influence the souls of mortal beings, both embodied and discarnate. So that's kind of like magic to influence people. So if you think, or influence bodies, right? So like raising zombies, influencing zombies to do your will,
Yeah.
or confusing people to think that there's like a really sexy witch elf in front of them. Things like that, I guess.
I don't think it's as much about the illusions. Well, like witchcraft is obviously a little bit about illusions, but it's more of I see it as a force of nature thing, but in a more dark way. Like
Yeah.
shamanism and like you have to imagine shamanism in a beast herd context, right?
Yeah.
And evocation in an evil context, and also witchcraft, which by itself sounds
Yeah.
evil. So this is more about so shamanism is actually a little bit evil, I'd say, in this
Yeah,
context.
dark,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit like otherworldly, dark kind of,
Yeah.
like a bit forbidden,
Yeah, more
like living on like hedge wizards kind of thing.
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, absolutely.
And the third part is matter and energy. So this is like chemistry mixed with natural world hippie stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
New Order.
yeah, energy and matter.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
Home.
So this is alchemy, pyromancy, and druidism. So this is like a chemical thing, a fire thing with energy, and then a life kind of healing waters and
Yeah.
spirits of the Mother
In
Earth.
in many ways, it's whereas the souls and spirits stuff is more like otherworldly dead energy. Like the matter and energy thing is very this worldly, right?
Yeah.
It's very clearly it's fire, it's alchemy, and it's giving life. It's like growing stuff and manipulating the elements that are actually in your world
Yeah,
around you.
using this power of the veil,
Yeah.
the magic that's seeping through to manipulate what's actually there in the natural world.
Manipulate fire, manipulate metals, manipulate life,
Yeah.
like the what stones and
Yeah.
water and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, the third one is power and knowledge. So this is kind of like using, well, I guess divination, thaumatology, and occultism. So it's kind of the opposite of matter and energy. It's like using
Yeah.
power not on the world, not on the earth, to kind of create the magical energy.
Yeah,
Thaumaturgy, none of us really knew what that meant.
yeah. I still don't actually.
Yeah, and we'll get there, but it's something to do with like the power of the gods.
It's I can't pronounce it, but
Thaumaturgy.
thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
What
not
it
bad.
basically is, it draws on the energy of people's belief in their respective gods.
Yeah.
Like so it's actually harnessing the very power of belief, and that can be used. So the belief in gods, which for reading the laws, it seems like there are good gods and there are bad and evil gods.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but
We-
that's what we can tell.
So it's about manipulating the belief of their believers into
So
spells.
it's kind of like a spiritual law, where the one before is like a.
No, because the souls
No?
and spirits law is the spiritual law.
Uh,
This is more of
I'm
a
not very good at this. Considering I consider myself a fluff gamer, I think I need to read this a bit more.
well, it says power and knowledge for these, which I think is true. It's well, the divination part is obviously like drawing upon good forces. I read these. Occultism is inherently
It's like blood magic, right?
yeah, more or less, or like the occult is like still.
We're finding this very difficult to talk about.
But also, I think they are like counter. What do you say? Like they like occultism and knowledge are like two maybe a little bit different.
I guess they've just tried to throw these into three categories to fit the fluff, right?
Yeah,
And the final one is the universal truth, which is portents and cosmology. And so the way that there's a really, really nice, kind of not pentagram, but diagram of the paths of magic in the last page of this book, which is, I'm just going to scroll down so Christopher can see it. If he
no,
hasn't seen it.
I saw it before,
But
but
maybe we can look at it to describe it.
yeah,
It's like the 10 paths with a little symbol, with cosmology in the middle, and then the three groups around the outside like a radiation sign.
yeah, almost, yeah.
And so it's quite a nice way of displaying it, I think, and it's quite a cool way of fitting it all in my opinion.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was the little bit of a fluff intro, because obviously it's different to what we've seen before, and I think it's important to kind of realize where the magic comes from,
Yeah.
and not just have it as magic. So I think
Did
what we
you
need
say laws?
Did I say laws?
I think you said laws.
I'll drink anyway.
Yeah. I'll do so. Thank you.
Quick pit stop break. So what we're going to talk about first is there's a little bit new way that spell categories work. So before, where we had all the paths with an attribute and a signature spell,
Right.
now it's slightly different. All the magic laws they have their own kind of.
There's no rules to it actually.
Do you think that they're in, how we described each of the three categories? Do you think they're organised like that?
I'm just looking at that now. But no, because alchemy doesn't have a trade spell, for instance.
But does the other one? Oh yeah. So
Yeah, and pyromancy does.
yeah.
So no, there's no
Which there's
rule.
one of each. Have a look
Maybe
what's the other one on that one? It's
that would be druidism,
Druidism.
but that has both an attribute and a trait.
yeah. So maybe you get one of each in each one.
Trait, no attribute. I don't
Yeah.
think there's.
Maybe they thought about it. Maybe they didn't.
It doesn't seem like they did,
No.
no, because this one doesn't have either.
Okay. So we got no fluff for that one.
No.
But basically, there's three spell categories. There's learn spells, which are the spells that you roll for.
Old faithful ones, you know,
There's signature spells, which are 0 spells,
which you also know.
which you can change. You can change. If you roll for a learned spell, you can always change to a signature spell.
Yeah.
That's the 0. Then there's attribute spells, which is like the old lore attribute. And then the trait spells, which you always know if you generate spells from this path.
Yes. This is important. This, for instance, as many of you may have seen from pyromancy, the old attribute from days that we do not talk about is now actually a trait spell. So you have to cast it, and then you can do, which is something that every pyromancy wizard will know. So you can always cast a D3 plus 1 strength.
Is there an attribute on pyromancy?
Nope.
Okay. And then there's also special rules for each path.
Yes. Well, for some of them.
Some of them have special rules.
Yeah. And for instance, alchemy hasn't got any, whereas cosmology has, I don't even know how many lines of text.
Cosmology is pretty complicated.
Cosmology is by far the most complicated with magic law. More magic path.
Magic path.
Magic
Drink.
path. Drink.
So yeah, there's a few new rules. I think I quite like it though. It makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, but I think we should round that off in the end.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is the miscast table.
Yeah.
So the miscast table has changed
A lot.
a lot.
I mean, we have to does not compare with the old one.
Yeah. It's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's my initial impression is that it's a good thing, but we should talk about what it does. And what it does is, when you miscast, you do miscast the same way as before, rolling double 6 on any number of dice to cast, and dice to cast is still between 1 and 5. And when you miscast, what you do is you roll a d3, add 1, so between 2 and 4.
Yeah.
And you multiply that with the number of dice you use to cast a spell, and that number is the amount of hits equal to the first.
No, we should start with this one.
Yeah, but
Then we could say this one last.
Okay.
So start from the top. So you roll a d3.
Yeah.
Then
Add 1.
Add 1. Times it by the magic dice used. If that number is 10 and above, you get an effect.
Yeah.
So the first effect is amnesia, and on a 4+, you forget that spell that you cast.
Yeah. And the way we read it, if you reach to the point where you go up to 15 or more, so let's say you used 5 dice and you rolled a total of 3 on the magic dice used or more, then you get what's called catastrophic detonation, which means that on a 4+, the wizard loses a number of wounds equal to half their starting number of wounds, rounding factions up. No saves of any kind.
Yeah, so if you're on a dragon, you lose 3 wounds. If you're on foot, you're probably going to lose 2 wounds.
Yeah.
Well, if you're... Yeah.
So yeah, well, a link to that, I guess we might as well say, because
No.
No?
We're not yet. Not
Okay,
yet.
fair enough.
We'll edit this part out.
We will.
If you're on a Pegasus,
Yes.
how many wounds do you lose on a Pegasus? Do you have 3 wounds?
Yeah, 3 wounds, so you lose 2 wounds.
So it's quite bad, but it's a 15+.
Yeah.
So even if you use 4 dice, you have to roll a 5 or a 6 on the D3 to get this. So it's actually quite unlikely.
But that's not even enough.
16.
4x4 is 60. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the final one is 20 or more. I don't know how you get more, but maybe there's some things that give minuses.
That's one of the laws.
Oh, there is?
Paths.
Drink.
Paths. Shit.
So the final one is 20 or more, and on a 20 or more, on a 4+, the wizard dies. and that's the only effect. And then with each of these effects, there's also an additional effect.
Right.
And this always happens no matter what you roll,
Yeah.
in addition to the adverse effects that we just described. So this is Witchfire, and then the Witchfire gives you a number of hits to your unit equal to the number on the dice that you roll to cast the spell.
No.
Yeah?
The number of hits Caster's units suffer a number of hits equal to the miscast roll.
Yeah.
So that would be the D3 plus 1 multiple times magic dice
Oh, it
used.
does?
Yes. And the strength of those hits are given by the magic dice used, and their armor piercing 1.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And then the last rule is the number of hits cannot exceed the number of wounds in the unit, which is important.
And it's armor piercing 1.
And it's armor piercing 1.
But you get saves.
You do get saves. So, what does this... Well, this must be very confusing for those of you listening out there. And what I can basically tell you is miscasting on 3 or less dice is going to be...
Fine.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. When you get to 4 and 5, that's when you need to start worrying.
Yeah. At 5 dice, then stuff's going to happen. Because the strength of the hits...
is 5.
Are going to be 5, and then armor piercing, and the number of hits are going to go up wildly.
Minimum
10 hits.
10 hits, yeah.
So if you roll those many dice, your units...
It's your own fault.
Yeah, your units are going to take a beating. What we talked about is that this means that running wizards by themselves is very important now. I mean, if you can somehow mount your wizard and have them...
You can get a unicorn wizard with a 4+ ward save.
Yeah, perfect. I mean,
or a Pegasus wizard, or even a dragon wizard.
Dragon. If you're a tree man.
Yeah, you're good. You're grand.
Yeah.
If you're a tree man.
If you're a monster doing the spell casting and whatnot. So
we should say Tree Father. Drink.
Tree Father. Drink. So overall, I like the new miscast table. I'd say when just looking at it now, because I always thought that it was stupid that you spent 330 points for a mage and just to be unlucky and see her hop in the hole.
For me, it's actually the opposite. We played a game last week where you were just 5 dicing fiery convocation at me every turn.
Yeah.
And you got the scroll on the second turn.
Yeah.
And then the third turn you cast it, and I couldn't stop it because you were just 5 dicing it, and you didn't roll a miscast once.
No.
Yeah, just lucky. But I think in this it punishes you much more.
Absolutely.
Like so much more.
Yeah, and overall,
even if you roll badly on the miscast chart, you're still taking fuckload of hits.
Well, that depends because the max is still the number of
the minimum
in the unit.
The minimum, if you use 5 dice, is 10 strength 5 hits.
Yeah, but not if you only have 3 wounds in the unit.
Oh yeah, I guess if you're on a Pegasus.
There you go. The importance of running your wizard solo is quite massive.
Yeah.
And having bunkers, while fine in theory, will see them vaporize very quickly to miscasts.
Yeah.
Especially of a more, grueling level. Like if you roll 4 or 5 dice, then the unit will take a beating almost no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So like at 3 dice and less, you're going to be fine with a miscast.
Yeah,
but with
you don't
4 or 5 dice, then you're definitely gambling if you're in a unit.
Yeah, that Warriors of Chaos. Fuck Warriors of Dark Gods. That Warriors of Dark Gods change wizard sat in his unit.
Yeah.
He's going to have a hard time when he rolls a miscast.
Yeah, because it's going to be a minimum of either 10 strength 4 armor piercing or 10 strength 5 armor piercing hits.
Ouch. Okay, so the next small change that we noticed was to do with the sub-phases of the magic phase.
Yeah.
And so the way it works now is remains in play spells have to be dispelled before the active player attempts to cast a spell.
Yeah.
So this is a big change, but it's not a massive change.
Yeah. Because what we have to say in this context is that most of the extreme spells, as advertised by the rules board, have gone. So spells that are game breaking and can win you the game in a single roll, they don't exist anymore. They just aren't there.
No.
Like Mind Razor and whatnot, it's gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
And things like Fiery Convocation, which remains in play.
Yeah.
That's gone.
That's got like the remains in
There's
spell.
not that many remains in play spells.
And those that are there are easy to dispel. I think they're on a low casting cost. I don't think the highest one is on a 9, if I'm not mistaken, in Witchcraft.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think the highest one is on a 9 in Witchcraft, and most of them are less than that. So there is that, and so I think that's not actually that big of a change, if I'm honest. I think and a bigger change is actually what it seems like to me, that when you miscast, you don't lose dice anymore.
Yeah,
like you used to. It seems to me that but we don't know that completely yet.
that kind of promotes people not trying to dispel the miscast and saving their dice and just hoping that you're going to roll really badly on the miscast and take a few hits.
And actually also when you do the extra dice you get to add to the casting roll from miscasting.
What's it called?
Sorry?
What's it called when you roll the extra dice?
I have no idea.
I was trying to catch you out. Overwhelming power.
Overwhelming power. And when you do get that, that dice is actually taken from your dice pool and not out of nowhere. So you only get to add that dice if you actually have any dice, and then you're forced to do it.
So you actually don't get the extra dice if you don't have any extra dice.
That's true.
Cool. That's fair.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The new laws of magic and the way the miscasts work and everything. I mean, me as a Kingdom of Equitine player, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, hallelujah! No more blowing up half a unit of knights for trying to cast a magic missile or something. I mean, those days are basically gone.
I'm the opposite. As a Sylvan Elf player, which keeps my wizards in small
expensive toughness 3 units.
With skirmish, I'm thinking, fuck my life.
Yeah.
If I roll 3 dice on a miscast and then roll a 4, that's like 12 shrink 3 hits.
Yeah, Tree Father Mage is going
Unicorn
to be
Mage.
Unicorn Mage.
Unicorn Mage
Tree Father
for the win.
Tree Father Mage for the win.
3 shrink 4 hits.
Negligible.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Got a 4+ ward save. Probably going to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are ways that are more evident than before to work around your miscast, but you don't have the extremities of the miscast. But then again, overall, the extremities of the spells have been toned down a lot.
Yeah.
You don't have, for instance, Mind Razor.
You're probably not, because none of the spells. I think the highest casting rate value is a 12.
There's one on a 14 somewhere. I know there is.
Okay. Maybe it's a 14. But if you're getting +2 to cast,
Evocation,
you can
14.
You can reliably cast most of the spells on 4 dice.
Yeah. Forcing through spells while you can do it, the miscast will cost you.
Ski as fuck. If you want to do it, that's fine.
And we're not clear on whether or not the adverse effects of the miscast are cumulative, so that you apply both effects from rolls 10, 15, and 20.
I don't think you do.
But we don't know.
I can look in the BRB if you want, but my initial reaction is that you get the hits and you get one of the effects.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and go over quickly each of the paths.
Right.
Give you some info on them, talk about some of the spells, and maybe tell you what we think is... And welcome back! So we're just going to quickly go through the laws now. I think it's alphabetical order, I can assume, because we start with alchemy.
Yep.
So, alchemy. Alchemy is this chemical law which is about transforming metals to other metals or similar.
Yeah, manipulating metals, I think.
That's a better way of saying it.
It's based around 3 hexes, one of which is the lore attribute, 3 missiles that focus on countering high armor saves, and 2 augments. And it's interesting in the fact that the lore attribute is 18-inch range hex that gives a target flammable.
And this is what the lore is kind of built around.
Yeah.
My first thought, like all the magic missiles are metal shifting.
Yeah. No, they're not. No, they're not. There's actually only one metal shifting missile.
But the other one's flaming.
Yeah, one of them is flaming.
a lot of the attacks from this spell, these are actually going to reroll wounds.
Well, the two of them are, yeah, because metal shifting is flaming.
Yeah.
And then we have molten copper, which is like gnawing spirits from before, the same effect, but with flaming.
Yeah. So you're going to reroll wounds, and that's important when you shrink 2.
Yeah. Also important to note about alchemy is that there's no special rules for the alchemy path as a whole. There's no.
So you have the attribute, which is the target gains flammable 18-inch range. You have the signature, which is D3 plus 1 metal shifting hits. Cast on 8 plus, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And D3 plus 1 is quite reliable. It's better than D6.
Yeah, I would also much prefer this. At a 24-inch range and 8 plus, it's a great spell.
Really good spell.
Yeah.
So, do you take this lore if fuck path? Do you take this path if you are trying to kill armor, or do you take this path for another reason?
Looking at it, I really don't know because it can do many different things. It's actually, obviously it's great at targeting things that has armor and as such, but I think it will find uses in every single game you are playing if you bring this. I think it's important to know that I think the key thing here is actually making units flammable.
Yeah,
you're going
to take Flaming Banner if you take this.
And as many flaming attacks as you can, because you're starting to this is very clearly something that's the Infernal Dwarfs are going to be using.
Yeah.
Looking at the
picture next to the lore,
there's
fuck path.
There's a picture of an Infernal Dwarf, so they're definitely going to be using this, and it's going to be very strong.
They're strong as it is right now.
Yeah. I think generally speaking, it is a strong law, but it depends on your ability to bring flaming attacks, I'd say.
And as we will talk about in a bit, this combos very well with Pyromancy.
Yeah, 100%. Pyromancy being, as you all have probably seen from the sneak peek, you've seen that almost all of the spells in Pyromancy are damage-based and flaming attacks.
Yeah.
So obviously casting metal space and spells first, and then making targets flammable, and then casting fire spells on them is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Nice little synergy there.
So cosmology, Kristoffer, this is your favourite lore. So fuck's sake!
We should start saying drinking double for the not same paths. This is my favorite path, and it's also at the so there are 10 laws, and in 3 sets of 3, and then there's this one by itself in the middle.
The Master Law.
The Master Law. It is the Master Law.
Yeah.
It is.
And when you read it, you'll. Yeah, I was like, what? What?
It is interesting. It has a very. Every single spell can be cast in 2 ways, in either a Cosmos way or a Chaos way. And the Cosmos way is a buff effect, and the Chaos way is a debuff effect.
I quite like the symbology in these, like the Cosmos and the Chaos. The Cosmos is symbolized by the do you know what it is in the Old Norse snake that eats its tail?
Is it that? I have no idea.
It's like there's like a special name for it. There's like a serpent that's like eating its tail. It's like a circle, like expressing like the circle of life.
Right. Okay.
And then the Chaos is expressed in an infinity sign.
Right.
Also with a snake eating its tail. I think it's quite cool. It's like a infinity kind of symbol. It's quite nice.
This is. It also has
#FluffGamer.
#FluffGamer. It has a what do you call it? Like a 0 spell.
Yeah, signature
spell. And
I don't know if it's called signature. It's called a 0 spell. Now.
0 spell. Well, the one that you can always choose. And it has no trait spell and it has no attribute. But it does have a special rule called duality, which is very complex to explain to you. But it basically means that your wizard is going to get if you cast a spell that's chaos.
Let's explain it.
Okay. Well, if you cast a spell from either Cosmos or Chaos,
so you should say
the next spell you cast that's from the same version will be 2 casting value easier to cast.
First, you need to know that there are 7 spells in this deck. One of them is a 0 spell, and each spell has 2 spells attached to it, or 2 versions of the same spell. For example, Altered Sight, which is the 0 spell, has +1 weapon skill, and +1 ballistic skill on 8+, 24-inch range. Augment spell.
Right.
The opposite spell is -1 weapon skill and -1 ballistic skill.
And a hex, obviously.
And a hex. So you can cast this spell on your friendly unit or on an enemy unit.
And 24-inch range.
24-inch range. You can choose.
Mm-hmm.
And one is Chaos and one is Cosmos. The Chaos one is the negative, and the Cosmos is the positive.
Yeah, and every single spell goes like this, but it's not limited to stats only. For example, Touch of the Heart, the number 1 spell, you can either choose the Cosmos version, which recovers a wound to focused augment target, or you can give a wound that wounds automatically with armor piercing 6, which is focused hex and direct damage, in the Chaos version.
This is really good lore.
It is.
Fuck!
Fuck's sake. Oh my god, Henry.
I've had like 3 beers, bro.
So so there are either stat effects that have the duality, like strength and leadership.
This is really good.
It is. I mean, this is by far the best. Like in my opinion, the best path. Because
really
you get
good.
if you have spells from this lore, if you get some of the right spells, then you will not. Because you could argue that giving in the same combat +1 strength or -1 strength to the opponent would be the same thing. Well, almost.
Yeah.
Not exactly with the strength, but
this is a lore that all the elves have.
Yeah.
And as an elf player, for me, this is a really, 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 really good path.
I mean, it's and you can reduce the casting cost if you begin to cast.
Yeah, we should say that. So if you cast a chaos spell, then you get a counter,
which says chaos on it.
Yeah, and then if you cast another spell from chaos, you expend the counter.
No, you don't. It stays there. It stays there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, wait. So
no, wait. At the end of each of your magic phases, replace all your Cosmos counters with Chaos counters, and all Chaos counters with Cosmos counters. So they flip.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is the most complex law I've ever Sorry,
drink. So the counter reduces the casting values by 2 if you have a counter of the same version of spell.
Yeah.
So if you cast a chaos spell, you get a chaos counter.
Yes.
And if you try and cast another chaos spell,
yes,
you reduce that casting value by 2.
Yes.
And at the end of the magic phase,
your chaos counter becomes
flip the counter from chaos to cosmos.
My goodness gracious, this is, I mean, like this is going to be, if you're good with planning your magic phase, depending, like you should
I'm
almost
really not.
you should almost write down. Depending on every, I mean, this, it's interesting. It's very interesting. It's by far the coolest.
What's your favourite spell in this drink? What's your favourite spell in this path?
Okay, so either
I have 2 favourite spells.
I also have kind of 2, but either number 4 or number 6. And
really, we have very different.
Yeah, I think number 6 is by far the most powerful. It is 18-inch range. Cast on an 11+. Now, because they're so different, so it's basically getting 2 spells for 1. And what you can do is, so the augment version, the Cosmos version, is ward save 5+. Augment. No, nothing. Just 5+ ward save, which is great for an 11+.
Yeah.
And
it'd be nice if it gave you +1 ward save if you already had a ward save.
Yeah, but this one gives a 5+. I think that's even better actually. But yeah. The other one is Hex direct damage, and each model in the target unit suffers a strength 3 hit.
Solid.
I mean, you have for an 11+, you have a spell with only range 18. Obviously,
you're going to cast it on 4 dice.
But you can really either, like, you can do 2 extremely different things with this.
Yeah. Which
is why I like it. Now, my second favorite is Ice and Fire, which is a magic missile
that can be 9+, 18-inch range,
which can be cast either with 2d6 strength 3 hits with flaming and divine attacks, which is great for taking off demons and, generally speaking,
it's okay.
2d6 strength 3 hits with divine attacks.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
You're gonna kill Ephorals.
Yeah,
and you're going to kill small units of demons.
Doing that,
I prefer the Chaos version.
Well, the Chaos version is 2d6 strength 3 hits, but with armor piercing 3. Again, the utility of being able to counter both armor and unarmored, and ethereal and not ethereal.
Yeah.
I mean, It's great.
Nice. It's nice.
It's still a magic missile, right? It's still good at even if you're just using it to clear out flak, right? It's still good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. My two favorite spells. I think we play a very different way, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
I like number one. Just the ability to recover a wound is fantastic.
Oh, it is. Oh, it absolutely is.
And at the same time to take a wound, I think on a 7+.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 18-inch range, but
That's the letdown of it. But
it's still good.
it's good. It 100% is. Yeah, that's actually better than Ice and Fire.
And
Yeah,
Truth of Time, this is just amazing. Truth of Time, oh my god. I think this is any spell that controls your movement, I think is really good. It basically gives your cavalry like super swift stride,
Yeah.
and it gives your infantry swift stride.
It means that for charge, flee, pursuit, overrun, you roll an additional d6 and discard the lowest d6.
Yeah.
So cavalry is going to be charging like 3d6 and discarding the two lowest.
46.
Yeah, 46. Yeah, sorry,
And the two
46 and discarding the two lowest.
What was that list you ran at Giant Fanatic with the
Oh
extra
yeah,
charge?
my cruise missile list. No, it was just D3 extra, I think.
Yeah, but that makes it more reliable. With
Yeah,
four
I know.
dice.
But, so you can charge fire, and then obviously the
Where I see the use for this is casting it on a unit that's going to flee, and then they flee less, and you have a really high chance of catching them.
but that would happen. Then you have to think a turn ahead, right? Because
Yeah.
magic phase happens after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're afraid of a unit coming up and chaffing you, then you can cast it on this unit, and then it's not going to want to chaff you because it can get caught, and that gives you a lot of space. That's
Well,
just
it's only 18
me
inch
from the
range.
elf player point of view.
Well, maybe. I still think the ability to
When you're running wizard around on a unicorn, it doesn't matter about range.
Oh,
When you're
that's-
movement 10, and you can
Well, like,
reform.
brace yourselves for the age of dragon mages and stuff like that. It's going to be everywhere.
Tommy Tucker, I'm coming for you with a dragon mage. So next path,
Yeah.
the path of divination.
Yeah.
And there's a lovely little picture of a frog and some frogmen. I'm not sure. Are these some models from the Knife Age? One of the companies.
I don't know.
Looks quite cool. Looks like an old frog slan
Yeah, absolutely.
with some like feathered frog things.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite cool. I think I like this lore. We've actually seen this one, haven't we?
Yeah,
On
divination
Instagram.
has been sneak peeked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Divination is about what was it? The knowledge and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. It's about like fortune. It says fortune tellers, tarot readers, clairvoyants, seers. I've seen them all in my time. So yeah, it's like there's a small story. It's quite cool. I'm just going to quickly go through the different spells in this lore. So we've seen that there's a conclave rule, and that every time you have a wizard which doesn't have bound spells from divination within 12 inches of the caster, you get +3 inch range. So you're going to see maybe, I don't think you necessarily need the conclave in this, but it's nice to have. Maybe you'll see 2 or more wizards with this, maybe 3, just to get those 12-inch auras, just to get that extra range. I think it could work quite well with a gunline list or something like that, which is giving buffs to different things. So let's take a look at some of the spells. The Stars Align strikes me as a really good spell, and especially in the gunline list where you're having a 24-inch bubble of reroll to hits and divine attacks. Obviously, it works in combat as well. The Stubborn and Immune Psychology is obviously fantastic. Charge a dragon in, cast Stubborn on him, he's not running away for a couple of turns. That's really nice when you're going to get challenged by a champion. Unnerving Strike, that's kind of New Age banishment. 2d6 or 3d6 hits on a 9 and 13 plus. That's a fantastic spell. Armor piercing 2 and divine attacks. I think that's actually better than the banishment.
It's more balanced
Why is that?
because it means that
But it means you don't need a conclave because the old one before was like extra strength, and
and
this one's just wounds on 4 plus,
yeah,
and you can do 3d6 hits.
and that's what I mean by it being more balanced. The range is also shorter.
Oh yeah, only 18.
Yeah, and
So
so
you can buff the range by the conclave.
yeah, so you still, but if you have three mages, then you're up to your 24-inch range as previously known. But there are no other synergistic effects from having multiple mages, and I think quite frankly that banishment was broken before, and that while this obviously takes very close, this is banishment, yeah, new
It's
age
on a
banishment
9
like.
plus for 2d6 hits. It's quite good.
Yeah, but it's wounding on a 2 up, or 4 up,
4
sorry,
up.
4 up, sorry, and so I think. I
So it's
mean,
like d6 hits.
yeah, I mean, and doesn't like immediately counter armor and doesn't have all the. It's just more balanced because banishment
Yeah,
was broken before.
yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Portent of Doom. Now, we have different opinions on this.
yeah.
You don't like it,
No, I think it's situational. It's not like I don't like it.
but it works in every phase of the game, apart
Yeah,
from combat. But
yeah,
I think it's really good. So the way it works is, on 10 plus, 18-inch range, it's kind of like the old Net of Light, right?
right,
Is
right.
that what
Yeah,
it's called?
Net of Amnuchok in the
Drink.
days of Yale. I don't know, but that was like in 8th edition days.
Yeah. So you cast it on a target, and then every time it wants to charge, move, cast spells, or shoot, if you roll a 6, it can't do it, and that can really fuck with your opponent's plan if you get that 6.
Yeah, yeah. It can be massively important.
And I think people are going to want to dispel this spell just in case.
I mean, it's only. I mean, I have
It's a
no
1
idea.
in 6 chance.
Yeah, but I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, let's say the character leaves the unit. What happens then? I mean, this is like a
Well,
rules
if he's
minefield.
moving, then he's got to roll a 6.
Yeah, but so does he take the effect to the next unit he joins?
But that's quite clear in the rules. I can't remember which way
Yeah,
it
but it's
works.
like I think they bring the effects with them. If I'm
Yeah.
honest, they're like contagious. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, this. Well, it's fine. I mean, it's situational. It's fine. Nothing. I don't think it's neither good or bad. It's situational. So
Fate's Judgment, quite a good spell. It's a magic missile. Target suffers D3, D6 wounds
yeah,
with no ward save or regen save.
yeah,
Quite nice for killing monsters with no armor.
yeah. Or limited armor even.
Yeah.
Again, all the ranges of all the spells in divination are 18. So like they get better if you have multiple mages because then you increase the range.
This is going to spank any greater demons. Are they called greater demons?
I don't recall if they're actually wearing armor or not.
I think the Wrath one does.
Yeah, probably plate armor, right?
Yeah.
So it's situational. Again, against certain monsters, it won't do that much, but the ability to just basically just delete a monster if you roll luckily.
Yeah, but
Can
if you get it and you don't have a target for it, you just change it to 0.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, the attribute on this law is not to be underestimated either. It basically gives, well, it's not going to be cold-blooded exactly, but it's the same effect. You roll an extra d6 in
Leadership test.
leadership test, and then roll discard the highest. So it probably stacks with even with cold-blooded and whatnot.
Yeah, we were saying like for the
Lizard-
Saurians,
Saurian
Lisman drink. You roll 4 dice and then you take away the 2 highest.
Yeah,
You're never running away.
yeah.
Ever, ever, ever running away.
So I mean, it's quite a fluffy lore. I think it's great. It's very balanced. It has a couple of magic missiles that are really strong. A couple of combat buffs that are also very strong. I mean, the Stars Align is quite strong. I mean,
Yeah, I said that as well at the
Yeah,
start while
yeah.
you were on the loop.
yeah,
I can just imagine a big fat frog slam
yeah.
sitting on his palanquin playing cards and
Manipulating planets.
These random shit is just happening around him.
So yeah. I quite like the fluff composition of this lore. It's
Yeah.
very exorcism meets
Demon,
meets kind of angelic kind of stuff.
It's a bit like, okay, we're gonna no, we're not gonna compare. We're not gonna compare.
No.
So the next one, Druidism.
Yeah.
This is quite cool.
It's a great lore.
Yeah, it's similar to its old counterpart. Let's say.
It is. We have to say it's the law. It's the path of life or path of nature. It is. It has almost exactly the same spells, with the exception of
Entwining Roots.
Dwellers in the Earth or whatever it used to be called.
Entwining Roots has changed.
Yeah. So minor changes. overall, it does the same thing. The very important, I think, and the only thing actually worth noticing here are two things. One, the attribute, and two, the trait spell. So the trait spell is now the Oaken Throne, which is the one that buffs all the other spells. And that's a trait spell. That means that your wizard will know the Oaken Throne spell in addition to any other spells he may have. And also, the attribute is that you obviously recover one wound, as you know, but if you have the Oaken Throne going, then you actually get to raise one wound. And that's huge.
Yeah, so you can restore a model from a unit.
Yeah. I was thinking about this for my Kingdom of Equity, like restoring Grail
Can
Knights.
you use Druidism?
Oh yeah. Woo! Oh yeah.
I was thinking Wild Riders.
Wild Riders.
You said it as well. Wild Huntsman.
Wild Huntsman.
Animal bit.
Right. Like all these elite cavalry models, they benefit greatly from this. Also, to an extent, elite infantry can be used with this. But other than this, there's no signature spell anymore. So you'll have to roll and see what you get. But that I think the Druidism lore is much more balanced, much more well-rounded for a wizard. I would seriously contemplate actually bringing this in a very elite army where restoring wounds is a great thing.
It also has a lot of damage spells.
Yeah, well,
Did
it has
I read
one.
it wrong? One damage spell.
Has one. It has Master of Earth as we know it. I mean, all the spells are either
That's what
the range of the spells are based on the caster or a certain piece of terrain that fluff-wise matches the concept of the spell.
So Master of Earth does damage, and it goes from hills, right?
Impassable.
Impassable.
It used to be hills, but now it's impassable.
Healing Waters is from the caster and from water features.
Mm-hmm.
That's the regen one. The Entwining Roots is from forest, and that does weapon skill and ballistic skill. The Spirits of the Woods is exactly the same as it was before, and it's measured from the 12 inches from the wizard.
Yep.
That's not very good. Can it be? Is it hex or universal? So yeah,
it's
universal.
still
Both.
I think the boosted one is universal actually.
Oh, the boosted one is universal.
And the unboosted one is well, that can't be right. It says ground. Must be hex, right?
Yeah,
that cannot be right.
I guess that's a mistake there.
Yeah.
Stone Skin is from a hill,
Mm-hmm.
which is the toughness buff, and then Summer Growth is just from the wizard.
But it's 24 inch range, so you got range on this one. And it's so you raise models.
D3 plus 5 wounds.
If you have Oaken Throne going, yeah, I mean Summer Growth is amazing on elite infantry.
And it's raise.
It's raise. I mean these guys are coming back.
That's 8 wounds. It's not even. It's not model. It's not like cavalry is 2.
It's between 6 and 8. I think that's what makes it great. It's so stable.
Yeah, that's really, really good. That's really, really good.
Yeah, I know. It's, like Druidism is amazing for units that are really fighty, really expensive.
What armies can take this? I know we weren't going to look, but can you quickly check?
So
we know
this is like a goody lore. You have to be a goody to take this, and obviously being goody. I know that Kingdom of Equity can take them.
Yeah, the Sylvan Elves can take it.
Sylvan Elves can take
The Highborn Elves can take it in the form of the Master of the Cranary Tower.
Yeah, my computer just died, so I
Okay,
can't check
no
it.
worries.
But Empire of Sunstar, obviously, that's what I meant. They can't.
Let you off on that one.
They can't take it, and
They can't.
No, they can't.
Can the Beast-Heads take it?
Nope. 100% they can't.
So there's only the Sylvan Elves and Highborn Elves?
And Kingdom of Equity, and maybe something else that I haven't thought of.
I can't think of anything else.
No, it's a very goody lore, and it is very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, very strong.
It's quite cool. It's what from a fluff point of view, it's what the law of life should have been the whole time.
Yes. This is I think, in my opinion, this is the most well designed lore.
Yeah.
Path. Sorry.
I probably have one as well.
I think it encapsulates Druidism perfectly, and the composition with the trait spell and the attribute at the same time, but without the signature, it's great. It's great.
I think the fact that there's a trait spell is really good because
perfect fix.
Yeah, because you always wanted one more spell than you could have in this lore. You always wanted
Yeah, you always wanted an extra.
And you always wanted all the spells in this
Yeah,
path,
yeah.
but you could never have them all.
Yeah.
And now because you have a trait spell, it's possible.
Yeah.
At least it's easier.
It's much easier. Evocation. This is your Necromancer go-to.
Yeah. So raise
Raise
on a 6+
is very important. It's the trait spell actually, so that means that any wizard will know that knows spells from this law will also know the trait Evocation of Souls, which is raise basically.
Yeah.
And that's important actually, because
Yeah.
your level 1 wizard will actually know 2 spells.
Yeah.
So that means that spamming Necromancers is actually even better now, because you get an extra spell for free.
Yeah. We like this.
And
We like this a lot.
yeah, this law is even for non undead armies. This law is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that non-undead armies.
Which one can take this? Yeah.
Yes, Beast Herds has access to them, and obviously the 2 undead armies also have, and I think one more has access to them, but I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah. The Dread Elves. I think.
Are you sure?
No.
No, I don't think they do.
Maybe they don't.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
There's another. I know there's another army with access to them, but it's an extremely powerful law.
For spell number 1, really good spell for Vampire Commandant.
Yeah.
Target gains lethal strike. Attacks already affected by lethal strike. Reroll fail rolls to wound. That's nice for Beauregard.
And let's say it's cast on a
And
5
very
plus
nice.
with
5 plus.
with 18-inch range, or you can bubble it for 10
Bubble.
and have 12-inch bubble.
MSU Beauregard, here we come. Or that MSU fucking Necro Guard list.
Oh my god, yeah. And even just casting this on your Spearman in the right matchup can be amazing.
Yeah, reroll wounds and those lethal strike.
Yeah. So great spell. And more of the same.
Yeah, rerolls to wound, same as before.
You can boost it to also include shooting. No, that's what we figured out. So it's either 1 unit within 12 that gets to reroll to hit with close combat and shooting, or it's an aura spell with 6-inch aura where you can do it with only close combat attacks that can reroll. Something along those lines. There's a little bit of inconsistency between the 2 versions we have.
Yeah, we have 2 versions of this. We have this version with the pictures, and then the streamlined version.
And Touch of the Reaper?
Same as before. Well, always good.
Oh, well, this time it took steroids. Because
Is it better?
this is the old signature from the days of Yonder at Death.
Is it better? No, it's the same, isn't it?
Target suffers D3 hits with strength 10 and armor piercing 6. When rolling to wound with this attack, substitute the target's toughness for its leadership, and it's focused.
That's very good.
It's unbelievably
That's
good.
very, very good.
And
And you can boost it to 24-inch range.
For a 10 up.
For a 10+. Ow. Ouch, 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 ouch. I hope you have a ward save on your character.
This is insane for sniping characters. I mean, even lords and everything.
This is like when you're playing Warhammer Total War with a vampire count.
Yeah, just run away and cast this.
Yeah. You just kill the general, die, and then you win the game.
Yeah. Dance Macabre. Yeah, 8-inch magical move.
Yeah.
Counts as ethereal.
It's okay.
It's a big fat meh.
It's okay.
It's fine if you want to rush something.
If you
I
bubble it.
bubble it for 12 inches. Yeah. Well.
Whispers of the Veil.
This one is great. This one is crazy because 24-inch range, cast on a 9+, it remains in play, -1 leadership, -2 weapon skill to a minimum of 1.
That's nice with the current rules from Remains in Play.
It is. It's strong. I mean, it also means like if
Those,
you're not
those
immune to
weapon skill 3
psychology.
Beauregard.
Yeah.
That's like weapon skill 5 Beauregard.
Oh yeah.
And with -1 leadership, it's pretty good.
It's. I mean, take your fear test. Hope you make it, boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Otherwise, it's going to be really, really low weapon skill.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
there are a lot of things in this one. Not only does it help you win the combat, it also helps you break your opponent.
Yeah. Quite fluffy.
And also remains in play. I mean, it's crazy. I think.
And then probably the best spell in the whole game right now.
It's the most expensive one.
Yeah.
It is
also fucking retardedly good.
Cast on a 14. It's
Only 12-inch range.
only 12 in range. But every character and champion in the target unit suffers a hit that wounds automatically with no saves of any kind allowed.
That's every character and every champion.
If you're facing against a Death Star, I mean, your opponent's going to have to take his characters out of that unit.
Yeah.
Like, he has to, because it is cast on a 14, so we are in this
these-
area where it's very dangerous to cast it.
It's getting dicey.
It's getting, like, the miscast's going to hurt.
If you get +2 to cast, you can probably do it on 4 dice.
But when you, like, the combination with Touch of the Reaper is ridiculous. So you give, let's say you have a Death Star coming at you. You cast Touch of the Reaper. Something's going to go through at one point. If you can get it through, like the characters start taking a lot of wounds coming through. I mean, supposing they even survive it in the first place, and then you can finish everyone off with haste in the hour at the end of it.
What I like is the champion sniping.
Yeah.
So if I'm fighting like I don't know, like anything like a Warriors of Chaos block with my vampires, and I cast this, if I can kill his champion, he's going to come in, and I'm just going to challenge with my champion, and then his lord or whatever is going to
smack kill your champion.
Yeah, smack my champion for 3 or 4 wounds.
Yeah. And your vampire's going to like start his chainsaw and then go nuts and then... Yeah. I mean, this is a very powerful undead lore. I mean, it is the lore of choice for undead. It is the only lore that like the trait spell evocation is the only raise effect in any of the lores that we know of so far.
Yeah, I mean, what you're missing in this lore, which the old lore, fuck, we said lore like 3 times.
Oh, cheers. You also said Warriors of Chaos, not Warriors of the Dark Gods.
I will have a few drinks.
Oh my god.
What you're missing in this path is something to clear chaff.
Yeah. And I think this is more because both Undying Dynasties and Vampire Covenant has access to this lore, and inherently Vampire Covenant has a harder time clearing chaff, obviously with ranged attacks, than Undying
Dynasties. That we know of at the moment. Hopefully Skeletons will get some kind of crossbow.
It will never.
I hope so.
It will never. I will kill your hopes and aspirations dead cold.
Maybe one day. If I keep saying it enough times in the forum.
Keep on believing.
If you throw enough shit at a wall, some of it will stick.
You're literally one guy in a corner screaming.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Occultism.
Occultism?
Yeah, I think that's a better way of saying it.
Right, isn't it?
Occultism. Yeah. This is the blood magic.
Yeah, this is definitely blood magic. Sacrifice shit and get shit done.
This is actually, it's quite cool though. It's quite fluffy. It's really
very fluffy.
So basically, the special rule is that you can choose a unit within 24 inches, and the number of ranks in that unit up to a maximum of 5.
This is friendly units.
Yeah, friendly units. You can lose wounds up to the number of rank bonus from 2 to 5, and then if you do this, you get the boosted version of the spell.
Yeah,
and the boosted versions are quite good.
Remember how we talked about all the wizards are going to be on a dragon or a demon prince flying around?
This is for a demon prince.
This is like built for a demon prince or a dread elf sorceress on a dragon. Or I mean, this is. I don't like it personally.
I think it's cool.
I agree it's cool, but I don't like the composition of it. For instance, the
I can just imagine a cackling sorceress on a Pegasus flapping around, giving hand of glory to people and pentagramming pain in a number of ways. But the attribute, say the attribute.
The attribute is
everything within 12 inches.
Yeah, it takes including your own units. The only thing that's safe is caster's own unit.
The Pentagram of Pain.
Yeah.
Casts on A+ for 12-inch aura, universal. Everything within 12 inches takes D6 strength 4 hits.
Yeah. Oh, this is the signature. This is not the attribute. Yeah, sorry. This is the signature.
No, the attribute.
No. It's the signature. It's a typo. See, it has a casting value.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
It's the.
I was going to say, if it's an attribute, That'd
No,
be
no, no, no.
amazing.
That was what got me confused.
Okay.
Because I thought like here it says
Yeah.
attribute,
So
but
it's
it's not.
obviously a zero spell.
It's the zero spell.
Or a trait spell.
Everything within 12 takes d6 strength 4 hits. If you carve up some of your own guys, then you get to recover a wound. I think this is very unbalanced for Dread Elves. That's what I'm going to say. Like this law is probably great with Demon Legions and.
Do you think just because you don't want to kill your own units, or
I mean, like
just
killing.
you're so fast?
This is the we're talking about. You do damage equivalent of your rank bonus to have the effect. So you either carve up 2 rats from Vermin Swarm, or you carve up 2 Tower Guard.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right? Or 5 Tower Guard, or 5. Like it's just the price.
Yeah, in your movement phase, you just make all your units to just 1 rank.
I think it's still expensive to sacrifice 2 elves for the gains that you do get. I mean,
Well, let's have a look at the spells that give bonuses.
yeah, obviously, and that's the first problem of the law. You can't sacrifice for every single spell you have to get a better effect, which I think personally is weird.
Yeah.
When you can compare it to Druidism, where you have bonuses based on the Oaken Throne for every spell.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I don't like. The first one, Hand of Glory, is a 5 ward save or improvement by 1 ward save on a 6+, super cheap, but it's cast on the caster. And their unit.
This is kind of.
I'm pretty sure it's unit as well. It says caster here.
It's for demon princes and stuff that are flying around.
Wasn't it caster's unit as well?
No, maybe in the other edition. I don't have it.
No.
But right now it says caster, so you get an extra ward save or 5+ ward save. It's pretty good. If you're flying around on your own, then it's pretty good.
I don't know. I mean,
You don't think it's good?
I'm not too sure if I'm honest. I mean, if it's not the unit, then it's so you improve your ward save. So you improve your ward save by 1.
Yeah, well, like we said, you're going to see a lot of wizards that are floating around on Pegasi and dragons. Giving a 5+ ward save to a dragon is not like a bad thing, is it?
Nah, I mean, I think it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's great with the more powerful a model you have that has access to a high level ward save, it becomes increasingly more powerful, but you don't like having a spell for your caster if he's not a fighty caster, then what's the purpose in the first place? Because if you're taking saves, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I guess if you're taking a ward save to cover yourself from a cannon, you're positioning yourself in the wrong place.
That's what I mean, right? And we also have Breath of Corruption. Now that one is pretty good. You target against a breath weapon with toxic attacks, but it's only on a 6+, and it's also targeting the caster. Like many of these are caster target.
They're all caster.
No, well, 3 of them are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's made for demon princes. I think it's a bit of a shame that it's not more versatile, but it's definitely a single model law.
Yeah. As you have one wizard that's really good. That's probably the linchpin of your army.
Yeah.
And
that's not on a monster. It can't be on a written monster. Or maybe.
Number 3, Forbidden Knowledge, remains in play. The target may reroll casting rolls when casting non-bound spells from this path.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
But
on a 7+.
But like we talked about, this is exactly the same as the problem with the Oaken Throne before. This is basically an effect similar to Oaken Throne from before this patch. And what that means is, I mean, if you have, let's say you have 2 or 3 or 4 spells, one of them is going to be this. So if you cast this, then it means your opponent will know there are only 3 more to stop at the max.
But you get to reroll.
You get to reroll the casting, obviously.
But it remains in play, so it's next turn as well.
Yeah, but you have to use a minimum of 2 dice to cast this to be safe.
Yeah, well, you're going to use 2 dice.
So use 2 dice. That takes you down to an average of 5. Then you have 3 and 2. So
let's say you roll a 5 and a 2 for your magic phase. That's pretty average, right?
Yeah.
And no one channels. If you roll 2 dice for this and they leave it, that means you're 5 on 5.
Yeah, 5 on 5.
But then you get to reroll.
Yeah.
So you're maybe going to cast a spell.
Yeah, but it says casting rolls, so you have to reroll the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's
But then you can. But look at the spellcasting values.
Yeah, they're very low.
Very low. So you can maybe one dice it and risk it.
You would have to be a lord for that. Wizard master, sorry.
Yeah, we can just gamble.
So you have to roll a 5 with a reroll?
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth it. It's hardly worth it.
It's a 66% chance.
Anyway, so out of 7 spells in the lore, only 3 of them have the amplified version enabled if you sacrifice something.
Yeah.
I think this needs a rethink. I have to say, I think
it's really cool.
The concept is cool. It's very cool.
But it needs to be on all the spells.
It needs to be on all the spells, and it needs to be more thought through to be balanced across different armies. Because I appreciate the fact that you can't have the same effect of sacrificing rats as sacrificing elves. But I think you need to be like an easy fix for that is based on the leadership value of the model. Unmodified leadership value of the.
It should be like the rank bonus minus the leadership or something.
There has to be something with it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the easiest fix I can think of is making it dependent on the leadership of the model that you sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate that you can't sacrifice 2 rats and have the same effect as sacrificing 2 elves.
Elves, yeah, or 2 wounds on a.
And at the same time, these caster effects only are cool, but it kind of bars out.
It makes you very limited to the kind of thing that you're going to do with this. I think this is only going to be seen on Demon Princes.
Or like the occasional Dread Elf Sorcerer.
Yeah, the next one, the Rot Within.
Yeah.
I think this is, again, a great spell for a Demon Prince.
Yeah. 9+, 24-inch range hex. It's permanent. Permanent, mind you this. Target suffers -1 weapon skill. If you choose to carve up some of your own dudes, caster gains +1 weapon skill. And again, very, very toned towards a Demon Prince because a sorceress on a monster won't get any benefit from this whatsoever.
Weapon skill 5, bitch slap.
It doesn't matter, right? So, I mean, nah.
Yeah, I think vampires can take this as well. And this is okay for them. Weapon skill 8 vampire.
Improve ward save vampire, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
Again.
Yeah. When I read this first, I thought it was for the unit that you're in. And it would be much better if a lot of these things were on the unit.
Yeah, these effects needs to be unit based as well. Yeah, I agree completely. I think also Vermin Swarm has taken a lot of hits on their combat buff capacity based on the laws that they have available and the effect of these laws. So they don't have the combat buffs anymore that they used to have. So I think this should definitely change some of the spells to have more unit-based buff effects.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that the caster has to be in the unit because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
And it should
be sacrificing models in the unit.
Sacrifice should be in the unit rather than within 24 inch range.
The 24-inch range doesn't make sense.
No, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's kind of like if you've seen the movie Warcraft. You've seen the Warcraft movie? Like with the Fell concept where he can draw life out of someone to do some magic power. Like he doesn't do it from a guy that's 50 miles away, right? He does it from a guy next to him to do it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Maybe I've seen it. I can't remember. I don't remember.
It wasn't very good.
No. The next spell is good on its own, but when you compare it to some of the other snipes, it's not that good. Like you have to actually kill 5 of your models to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Mark for Doom is exactly the same as Touch of the Reaper, only with shorter range, same casting value as the boosted one, and you have to sacrifice dudes to be able to make it focused.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's strength 10 base, so no diversion between leadership. That's the difference. But with strength 10 and most leadership being around 9, 8, not that much strength 10, leadership 10. Elves maybe, but I mean, so this obviously isn't dependent on that, but you have to sacrifice 5 guys for it.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this one.
This law needs a rethink. Definitely needs a rethink.
Number 6 spell's nice though.
Look at the range.
Oh, that's awful.
It's horrible.
Ugh, this spell is just nasty. Okay, 12-inch range, strength 5 hits. If you sacrifice some dudes, strength 6 hits.
2d6.
2d6. It's good.
Cast on a 12 plus.
12 plus for 12-inch range?
No.
Nah. Probably not. I guess
This law is made for having your demon prince and flying him in the middle of your opponent's army and just start exploding left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Like DC strength 4 is everywhere. And
But on a 12 plus, are you
Yeah.
risking your demon prince with 4 dice?
oh. Yeah, well, there's that.
Okay. Next law.
Pyromancy. Everyone's seen it.
Everyone's seen it. It's good. We like it. It combos really nicely with alchemy.
It does.
What's your favourite spell apart from pyroclastic throw?
I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I think
Cascading Fire's nice. Scorching
I-
Salvo is interesting.
I think Pyroclastic Flow should have been a signature spell.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think because while I appreciate what they tried to do, I think it should be possible to take multiple level whatever's with Pyroclastic Flow and Fireball because it's fluffy.
Yeah, I think yeah, it would have been better if this could be the 0 spell.
Yeah. And that's all I would change of this law.
Yeah, it's good though. It's all damage, which is nice,
Well, 2 of them aren't.
but it's still doing damage.
Well, you can't place the number 4 emulation. You can't target a unit with it. That's
No,
the problem.
but it's still doing damage to a unit. It's quite nice against chaff. It is anti-chaff law.
Yeah, anti-elf law.
Yeah, definitely. I think that immolation, you don't want to be walking through that as an elf player.
No, but yeah. Yeah, well, to me, it seems a little lackluster.
It's not as good as it was because of you can't get the signature spell.
Yeah, that's really the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. If you
And it
roll,
has no special rule, right? It doesn't have
yeah,
any like
there's
any
not an attribute anymore.
sexy attribute.
It was
or-
nice. The attribute was cool before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got worse, but it's still good.
I don't know. Because many of the armies. that
Wait,
have
wait,
actually-
wait. Read it again. Pyroclastic flow.
I know.
Look at the ranges.
I know the rolls are horrible on you.
Oh, this is an awful law.
Yeah, right now, like it used to be that when you increase the number of hits, you also increase the range. Now it's the opposite. If you increase the number of hits, you decrease the range. And
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, it's
I'm not sure.
I think-
I'm not taking this law now.
no, I'm not either. Because also when you look at it,
Maybe I take it on the Dragon Mage because I can fly close
maybe,
and I can cast spells in combat.
maybe.
But
I don't know. The thing is, many of the armies that have access to this law also have access to alchemy, which does the same thing. I feel,
a bit better.
but a bit better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Shamanism.
Yeah. So this is about increasing the fightiness of your units. Well, kind of. Well, not really. Well, yes.
Yeah,
It is, we have to say it, it is the law of wilderness.
wilderness.
Almost 100% without change.
It's okay. It's not as good as it was because the magic missile things disappeared.
Yeah, and the attribute is now targeting the caster only. Close combat attacks against the target cannot wound on a better on a 5+.
Meh.
Meh. Because
My
your wizard is
little elf wizard does not care.
made for beastmen. Sorry, drink.
Drink. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, very, very, very good spell.
Or
especially
ogres.
on ogres or beastmen or
Drink.
what
It's
again?
a beastman,
Fine. Signature spell is basically unchanged, a little bit easier to cast, longer range.
It's not as good. You can only get +1 strength or +1 toughness. You don't get both.
Oh, you don't get both?
No.
Oh,
Pretty
shit.
shit. But it's a 6+.
Yeah, 6+ or 8+. Well, again, good with beast herds
Or ogres.
or ogres. Swarm of insects, the same. Great spell.
Yeah, we like this one. War
Yeah.
Machine Killer.
Yeah.
Easy. 3
Yeah.
wounds every time.
Does the trick.
I like Savage Fury,
I do too.
but I've never seen anyone use it to its full potential.
No. It's like Tiger Games Frenzy, but everyone knows it. It's great. The old Laura Tribute, which was the magical move stuff, is now moved into its own spell, which can be either bubble for a 12-inch aura or single target within 18.
This is a waste of time. I think the spell's rubbish. 2d6 inches. It's not reliable because you roll 2d6. A magical move is like okay,
Yeah.
but
And it's straightforward, this. You can't do anything.
yeah,
You have to get it straightforward.
yeah.
But, I mean, it's like Beast Hurts, running and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it spells trash.
Yeah.
Take it out. Put the other one back in with the shrimp 10.
Yeah.
This is
Amber Spear's gone, whatever it used to be
Amber
called.
Spear drink.
That used to be called Amber Spear.
Yeah, and Games Workshop days.
What do you call that? Spear of the Wild Hunt or something?
I don't know, but it's definitely Amber Spear
Spear of Cronus?
drink.
Jesus.
Next one, Chilling Howl. That's nice. It's for beast herds. So wound rolls against the target from shooting attacks get -1 modifier. That's quite good if you're going against cannons when you've got lots of monsters, or if you have doom balls flying around.
Right.
That's alright.
Yeah, it is. And it can be aura for 10 plus. 12-inch aura.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Very Beast Hurt synergetic lore.
Yeah, if you want to rush a gun line,
Yeah.
this is a fantastic spell.
Yeah. Then we have number 5, Break the Spirit. Like, it's the old Curse of the Wildwood, exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Totemic Summon, number 6.
This is cool, but it's really shit.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's garbage.
96-inch range.
Basically, you make a...
Unless you're in the corner of the table, you can cast it anywhere on the board.
But you basically spawn a spawn,
Spawn.
and it has to be placed within either 1 inch or 10 inch, depending on whether or not you cast the boosted version of a board edge. And then you have a spawn with a breath weapon.
This is awful spell. I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but in what situation?
It's a very fluffy one.
In what situation do you want this?
If you're the Beast Hurt player and you're running at an Empire player and he's like single column, and shooting shit to pieces as you come along, it's great to be able to summon a spawn to like cause havoc in the back line. I think this is brilliant. This is a brilliant lore for Russian gun lines. It actually is.
Yeah.
You've got magical move, counter shooting. -1 to hit and making shit behind your opponent's
you're
lines.
right, and that's probably what they wrote it for, right?
Yeah.
You can get extra toughness for your units. You can, you're right. You can get frenzy. You can pull people out of position with that.
Yeah, and it's also good for ogres. Let's not forget. Like the signature for ogres is pretty damn important. Like the difference between going from strength 4 to strength 5 is massive.
Yeah, it has its uses.
It has a use. It's like very offensive. Like,
You're gonna punch your opponent's dick.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna run across the board as fast as I can, and then I'm gonna put you on my dick.
Yeah,
make a
put you on my dick. Never heard that one before.
What do you call like the figure at the end of the ship? In front of the ship.
The figurehead.
The figurehead. Yeah, I'm gonna make
a figurehead.
Okay.
Okay, Christopher, how do you say this one?
Thaumaturgy.
I think it's thaumaturgy, but not bad.
Whatever. I don't know. This is the one we talked about where it's like the more you believe in your gods, like you get to cast like harvesting the faith of millions to do stuff.
What?
Now, this is the one. Like this is the one that's the most. This is according to the fluff. This is the most common law as it's used by the law of Empire of Stormstyle and something else.
It's the warriors of the Dark Gods have it.
Yeah.
I think the Dread Elves can use this, and one of the cults can.
Probably.
What else can use this? Yeah, I can't remember, but there's quite a few armies, races that can use this, and we like this law.
This is a strong path. It's right up there with one of the strongest.
This is a little bit like the old. No, we're not going to say that. But the attribute is really nice.
Well, it's not an attribute. It's a rule.
The special rule.
Yeah, special rule for the law. Path.
Drink. You said it. But we should say that this path has no attribute, No trait spell and no signature spell.
So you play the hand you dealt, literally. And
you probably want to take four spells in this.
Yeah, you want to go max out with the spells in this one. The special rule for the path is Judgment on the High, and what it basically gives you is any casting attempt that with the magic dice resulting in a 1 must be rerolled. However, if you miscast with one of these spells, you count as having used an additional dice for casting attempt. Now, and as we know, blowing up
is very, very fun.
It's very, very, very hard for your poor wizard. So
rerolling those ones, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
1 in 6 chance if you've got 6 on the table already.
I mean, if you are throwing many dice on this law, it's going to go wrong at one point.
But what I could say is, if you've already rolled 2 6s when you've rolled 5 dice, and you've got a 1 there, you may as well re-roll it and try and get another 6 because why the fuck not? And
I mean, these spells are good.
Yeah.
I mean, first one, missile, target suffers D6, strength D6 hits, and 24-inch range can be boosted.
5 plus.
Can be boosted for a 9+, which I think you should. You should do it every time.
Yeah, if you can.
And then you gain +1 to both rolls.
So that's 3 dice.
Yeah, but you do it because the difference between the average, it goes from 3.5 per roll to 4.5 per roll, which is huge.
Yeah, it's very good. Depends what you're casting it on.
Well, I'd cast the boosted one every time.
Yeah.
And then Cleansing Fire, give yourself a breath weapon or boost it and give it to a friend of yours within 24.
Nice.
We know it. Seen it before.
Yeah.
Now here we go. This is something new. Trial of Faith. It's a dick measurement contest. You whip it out.
Dick on the table.
Dick on the table. Get the ruler.
Get the ruler out.
Get it sorted. Winner takes it in the ass. No, sorry, loser. Loser obviously
takes it in the ass.
It is basically a good old one from Death, where you roll off, see who has the highest dick or not.
Who has the highest dick?
Whoever has the lesser dick in centimeters takes the difference in wounds.
Yeah, and there's no modifier for leadership.
Right.
But it's roll off and take some wounds.
Yeah. So very strong.
Yeah, it's
very
nice.
Strong spell. Like Casino spell, obviously, cast on an 11 plus for 24 inches, but can potentially just win you. If you're playing as vampires, you cast this on your opponent's vampire general, and you get lucky, he's dead there on the floor.
Yeah, 11 plus for a 24-inch range.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. You can roll it on 3 dice if you get +2 to cast.
On what? On 3 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've got cojones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a dick measurement contest.
Yeah, it's a dick measuring contest, so you've got to have a bit of balls, right?
Yeah, right. Otherwise it looks silly. Like small balls and big dick.
Yeah. And everyone knows that when you put your dick on the table, you get your balls in there as well, just to give you that extra bit, right? The next spell, speaking in tongues of Kristoffer can control himself.
Oh yeah.
The target cannot benefit from an inspiring presence. This is a good spell on 8 plus.
Strong, extremely strong. And 2 dice this bitch. Rerolling ones. It's gonna be a
slaves.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck, vermin swarm slaves.
Strong spell, lots of utility. Smite the Unbeliever. I don't know what to think about this one, if I'm honest. It's really random. I think we can safely say that. It's first off you roll. It's a hex with 24-inch range, cast only on an 11 plus. First off, you start with toughness.
This is really good.
Yeah, but it's random as fuck.
Yeah.
You start off with toughness. Roll a dice. If it's a 4 plus, your opponents get -1 toughness. Then you keep rolling, and every time you roll the 4 plus, your opponent's toughness goes down by 1 until you no longer roll a 4 plus, or until your opponent's on toughness 1. And then you do the same thing for strength. Roll a dice on a 4 plus, -1 strength.
It's
roll again.
Completely random.
It's so random. On average, you'll wind up doing something like -1 strength or toughness, that's it. But, in the rare case you don't, you just win.
There's going to be one time where someone casts this on Kadai.
Yeah. He just rip it to shreds with spearmen. He goes mongoloid mode.
It's like goes like tiny little Kadai, like breathing like a fire, like. I just get stomped by an elf.
So
it's random, but
it can be game winning. I mean,
Yeah.
it really can. This has got to be like casino wise. This is the most casino spell there is.
yeah. I quite like that it's called Smite the Unbeliever. It's like, how good do you believe?
Yeah.
On a 4+, on a 4+, on a 4+.
This is like you gotta be dice man. You gotta be ready to gamble everything.
This is like when we were in the bar after Giant Fanatic, and Simon was getting really drunk, and we had the sheep dice,
yeah.
and he was going on a 4+, we drink,
Yeah.
we drink. On a 6, we drink,
Yeah.
we drink. On a 6, we drink, we drink. Because obviously the sheep dice are broke as fuck.
I know.
They're fine.
They're fine. Or so we'll tell people before we win with them. Wrath of God. This is Comet of Cassandora. Nothing
Yeah.
more to say. Strong Law.
The Call of the Comet, drink.
Fuck's sake. We're out of bit. Oh, god damn it, there was another
You have
one.
to go to the fridge.
No, there's one here.
Okay.
But yeah, Strong Law.
Yeah. Damage Law, bit random.
Bit random. Very fluffy, actually.
Yeah, really cool.
Considering that it's based on your faith, but who are you to judge my faith? Let the dice decide,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
It's like how,
And then there's the whole like slap the dick on the table, minor earthquake if I'm doing it.
Tremors in China.
7.6 on the Richter scale.
I like that one.
And in the end,
witchcraft.
last and definitely least,
I like this law.
Bitchcraft.
Path.
Bitchcraft.
I
I
think it's
don't know.
good. I think it's good. Evil Eye.
This
This is
signature spell.
yeah, signature number 0.
No attribute, no special rules.
No, I think this is a nice. It's a nice spell. The D3 movement is good because you can.
It's a hex.
Yeah, you can limit
With
your
a lot of range, say
Yeah.
36.
Yeah, you can limit you on a 6+. It's quite easy to limit your opponent's
Yeah,
charge
it actually is.
and the movement. But what I don't like is that the minimum is 3.
Yeah.
So if your movement 5 elf, and I roll a 6 or 5, you're only limited to 3.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really worth it for a 6+. You're going to roll 2 dice for it, and
The other part of it is the -1 initiative.
that's important.
It can be,
It can be, but
but it's situational,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like the inability to control how much you get minused is
yeah, it's better when it's D3.
yeah.
The spell it's good, but it's not. It could be better. It's not very well written.
Well, it's written obviously with a cautious principle at hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, like they don't want it to be like 3 level 1s making stasis fields for a unit that's just you're never going to move and you're going to strike an initiative 0. Like
Yeah.
this is a signature spell after all, right? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
multiple effects of the same spell,
Yeah.
they have to factor that in when they design the things that you don't only have access to the one spell. So I think that's definitely the reason why it's limited to a minimum of 3 and
Only
and
-1 initiative. Yeah, it's okay. It's good, but
I think it's situational.
for the mirror matchup, it's really good. And for me, that with my list,
the
I think-
Elven mirror matchup.
Yeah, this is really nice. But elves can't take this apart from dread elves.
It's the Dread Elves.
Yeah, so it's nice for dread elves.
I have no idea that like Vampire Covenant has access to this law as well.
Yeah,
If they
but it's
do
not that
stuff,
important.
I think like Necromancers might have access
It's
to.
not that important.
Like the lore availability to Vampire Covenant is
Really good.
100% dependent on whatever character you have.
Yeah, but you can pick and choose really what you want with.
And you're always going to choose evocation because it's
Yeah, yeah.
pretty
Just
good.
take what you want and then just take application.
Mhm.
Yeah, Deceptive Glamour, a 5+. That's quite nice. So 3+ on 1 dice.
It's like
Target
divination.
is distracting and hard target.
This is a divination spell, but
No attribute.
no attribute.
It's only a 5+. And you can bubble it. You bubble the other one, right?
Yeah, you do. Have to use loo.
Yeah, I think this is quite good. Useful spell, but it's probably one of the best spells actually in the deck. But you have to roll for it, and there's some other spells that you might want as well. Raven's Wing, 6-inch magical move, probably don't care that much for this one. Or boosted to 10-inch magical move. That's better, but I'm just not casting this spell. I'm not choosing this spell, to be honest. With all the other spells in here, if I'm picking this spell, I've rolled really badly, or I haven't got any good targets for the other ones. The other ones are so much better. Twisted Effigy. I think this is a fantastic spell. For a 7+, limiting a shooting unit to half its range. That's really good. If you're playing Dread Elves, which is probably the army that's going to benefit from this the most, if you can limit your opponent to shooting 12 inches with handgunners, or shooting a cannon 36, or let me think, something else, like elves that are shooting 15 inches and then they have to march or move to get into range for you. That's fantastic. It really helps you control the board, and that's so important when you're playing elves. The Will of the Wisp, Will O' the Wisp. Target gains random movement 2d6.
Strong.
Very strong. Probably one of the best spells, I think.
18-inch range lets it down.
Yeah.
It does. Like the inability to cast it on war machines effectively.
It's only an 8+, but
yeah, and that's due to the fact of the short range.
if you could boost this to 36 on a 10,
Yeah, it would be too strong.
yeah. But I think we're still going to see these wizards flying around on Pegasuses and
If you can get the range,
the broomstick for the witchcraft.
I think the weird thing about witchcraft is that it's kind of a defensive. Like many of the spells are defensive in the sense like you reduce movement and whatnot. You meet half your opponent's shooting ranges and spell ranges, and then you have the random movement spell, which is short ranged, right? So it's actually a very defensive, like reactionary law path. Sorry, cheers.
Yeah, you're right in that respect. I think. Yeah, you have to kind of plan ahead, right?
This is in my opinion one of the most defensive laws out there.
Yeah.
Path again, sorry.
I knew it was a good idea to buy a crate of beer before we started this podcast.
God, man. God, tumble into bed.
You're not going out tonight?
Oh yeah, I am. But let's just say I'm gonna hit the ground running when I get to the other.
Hey guys, dicks on the table.
Earthquake in your house.
Okay, next one. This is a spell that I think is really good. This is probably one of the best spells in this path. Bewitching Glare. The target gains stupidity, and every character in the unit gets a -1 leadership. Where are you going to use this spell?
Well, actually, the
Because I'm going to tell
the
you.
stupidity test.
I'm going to tell you.
I think you said it wrong, because the stupidity test is -1 leadership per character in the unit.
Yeah.
So again, we have the counter Death Star reactionary defensive play.
Yeah.
I think witchcraft is made for Dread Elves.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, Karen.
And it's made for Dread Elves that want to play to the extent that it may be possible. Wink, wink. After the release of any rules, to play shooting, basically. If you wanna play a lot of shooting, this is definitely your law, I think, because it manipulates your opponent's movement so much. There are 3 spells that does this, or 2 at least, and then there's the range 1 for spells, which can be important.
Yeah.
Have you told about number 6 spell yet?
No, this is the worst named spell in the game. The wheel turns. Turn the wheel.
Row your boat. I don't even know.
Turn the wheel. Yeah, I guess it's talking about like the Wheel of Fate. Or
this one is a weird spell. It's a hex, and this is...
Before we start, go back to the stupidity. Like, I'm going to use this spell to cast stupidity on low leadership chapter units. Hashtag Vermin Swarm, Leadership 7, stupid poison rats coming on my backfield, fucking up my plans. You take a leadership test on 7, then I'm going to fuck you in the ass.
But if you had, let's say, Pyroclasm, you could just vaporize the unit of retarded rats coming on there and force them on a panic check for the same casting cost. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, the Death Star ability is much better.
Yeah, it's like this is like if your opponent is rushing at you with all these characters in the unit, it's fine. They're going to be retarded as fuck.
Do you stop the spell if I cast it on your knights, Leadership 7?
It's a remains in play spell, so it's very, very brave not to.
Yeah. You got to be within your general's leadership test, leadership bubble.
Yeah, well, even if I'm leadership 10, let's say I had 3 characters in the unit, that's not unrealistic.
Yeah.
That's a leadership 7 test. Do I want to risk that for a remains in play spell?
And if you have a wizard, can't cast spells.
Yeah, it's like too busy drooling. So that's a strong spell, not least because of the range. I think this unit is well, this path is going to be really tricky to use.
Yeah,
Really tricky.
You have to build your list around this.
Build your list around it, and I mean, you have to time it perfectly so that you have the right amount of maneuverability threat spells to cast at the same time, so your opponent cannot just say, well, I'm going to stop the random movement spell, because, that's the only one you're going to be able to cast this turn.
Yeah.
That's a bad example, but that's the one that has the worst range.
I think
right?
if you have a really good magic phase with this lore, like a double 6 phase, you're going to fuck some opponents up. Because you can cast so many spells and they're quite low.
Again, but this is a lore that is path. Whatever, I'm not drinking anymore. This is a path.
Come on, play the game. How much? Are you done?
I have no idea. But you've done
I'm done.
some. Well, this is a path you take to play defensively. And if you can't play defensively with this lore, then you're fucked.
Yeah. It's a bit of an avoidance law, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, it's amazing with an MSU style of play. Kind of. Well, not perfect, but it's good. Because you can also magical move stuff.
Yeah, I don't really like that 6 inches, meh.
You can boost it to 10.
Don't care.
If it's a skirmishing unit, it could be good.
Yeah, it's okay. The wheel turns. This is a shit spell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cast on so range 24, 10 plus. Rank and file models in the target unit will successfully roll to hit and wound on a 4 plus with their close combat attacks, regardless of weapon skill, strength, and toughness. Apply this before any other modifiers. Now, I thought when I read this that this was an augment spell. It's not.
Yeah, so
it's a hex.
I don't really understand the use for this. Maybe if you're a vampire player and you have skeletons or zombies or something shit.
It doesn't have to be shit, but it has to be glass.
Yeah.
Shit or glass. Shit glass.
Glass.
It's a glass.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, but if you have a crazy woman from Dread Elves that are on core that I can...
Or Blades of Nab.
Yeah, those.
Boom.
Boom.
If
you have those, it's a great thing to if you have a big unit of those, cast that spell on your opponent's unit that they're fighting, and you will actually survive quite a lot.
But their weapons go 5?
4.
Weapons are 4.
Or maybe they're 5 now. I've actually.
I think they're maybe 4. But
they were 4, and then there were 5, and they might be 4 or 5 now. No one knows.
like if you're fighting an elite unit, which is weapon skill 5 or strength 4, this is a great spell to cast. But if you're not, I mean, I don't know.
It would be better if it could be either.
Yeah, and it's lower casting value.
Well, 10 is fine, because if you had the ability to cast it both on your own unit and your opponent's unit, it would be an amazing combat buff for
This should be in cosmology, right?
No, I think it's fine in witchcraft. I think it should be like either, because like drink this, and it's like you'll have this effect regardless of whether you are.
Drink this, my children.
Yes, exactly, right.
Come to my magical sugar house and eat the walls and the furniture.
That sounds like Herbert the Pervert more than anything.
Herbert the Pervert. Is that something Danish?
He's like the guy from Simpsons. He's always had a crush on the
Family
newspaper
Guy,
boy.
Is that Family Guy?
Family Guy.
Family Guy. Fuck. It was.
Is that his name? Is Herbert?
Herbert the Pervert, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's okay, but maybe you cast it if it's like a monster. Then you get wounds and a 4 plus for the the thunderstorms.
No, because this says close combat attacks.
Oh, it's special attacks, right?
Yeah, they are.
I just don't see the use for it that much.
I think, again, like I said, this is the last law and it's the least law. I wouldn't use it. I think any other lore could do something better than that.
Yeah, there's better laws. So that brings us to the end of the 10 paths of magic. Christopher, what's your overall thoughts on the 10 paths of magic?
I love it. 100%.
Yeah, me too. It's an interesting change. It's a big change.
It's a big change. I like it. No more of the bullshit insta-win spells.
Yeah, the spells that are there, they're not, even the death snipes, you can cast them, and there's still a random element. You're not going to cast one spell and win the game.
Right. And I like that. I also like that you don't play the game first turn of the game. You roll 3 dice for a spell. You roll 666 because it happens.
Yeah.
Your wizard just decides to go kaboom.
Yeah.
Takes half the unit with. I play Kingdom of Equichain. The miscast is what I fear the most in the magic phase. Like, never mind if I get a spell through, yes. If I don't, never mind. But if I miscast, fuck.
Yeah.
Right. So
and the miscast isn't that bad now, unless you roll lots of dice.
if you roll lots of dice and you're hiding in your ranked unit, then you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you can play around it. I think it opens up a lot more single model flying mages, which is fluffy as fuck. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
The
Right?
wizard on the Pegasus, right? Yeah. That's gonna be fun to see. I'm gonna probably convert some wizards now to flying characters. It's gonna be a nice little project for me.
Yeah, just to avoid the miscast, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maximum 3 wounds. If you're like a Pegasus or Eagle or
Yeah, something like that,
something
right?
like that, Unicorn.
No, I mean, I think comparing the fluff to the spells that are in each lore, I think it makes sense. I think there's a theme to each path.
Yeah, it's really nice, and you can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Like the Thaumaturgy one with all the randomness.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And the divination.
With all the inspiration, the stubborn,
Yeah,
the better leadership,
yeah.
the exorcism, the
Yeah.
banishment of demons,
And the cosmology with like the random kind of like the
the duality of
yeah.
life, yin and yang
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
it's
right?
quite cool.
It's an evocation is I think also just generally not necessarily a very fluffy lore, but a very powerful one.
Yeah, well, that's kind of fluffy in itself. Like,
Yeah,
I think that's
manipulating spirits
cool. And
to
with the witchcraft, been like manipulating people's mind and
playing the avoidance, like I'm here but I'm not here,
Yeah.
and like the whole Machiavellian theme that's actually to the witchcraft is
quite cool, isn't it?
It is cool. It needs work, I think.
yeah, but it's a very good basis.
It's a very good basis to develop from. The only lore that I wasn't super excited about is the I think it was occultism. Yeah, occultism doesn't do it for me.
It's fluffy,
I think
but it's not good enough.
it's simply too one-sided.
Yeah, we don't like it that much. It doesn't do
It
enough.
has demon prints written all over it.
Yeah,
I think like
Yeah.
demon prints or vermin demon or whatever they're called now.
I don't think the Vermin Demon can take this one.
I'm pretty sure they can. I think like the
Is
vermin
this-
demon
is this the
exactly
one?
can take this one.
Maybe it's good for the Vermin Demon then.
It's
but
good. It's good for like single
Single
model
models
demon
which
character.
can fight.
Yeah, and I think that's too one-sided to have 1/10 of all magic focused around that.
Yeah,
If I'm honest.
yeah. I'd like to see it a bit more general. Like the spells that can cast on casters, like just boost it for 1 or 2 extra points and allow it for the unit.
Yeah, especially and then add the soul thirst element, the special rule where you sacrifice models. Make that so that it's for all the spells.
Yeah, not just 2 or 3.
Yeah, this is what should really distinguish occultism: is that it's powerful spells, but you're carving up your own dudes to make it happen. It's blood magic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So why only have 1 of them or 2 of them have it? 3
Yeah.
of them out of 7? It doesn't
It
make
could
sense.
be really cool.
Yeah, tweak it,
So
and it'll be
potential.
perfect.
Yeah.
And making sure it's available to all armies because I will never take this in a Dread Elf army because it's much better for a Demon Prince. It's much better for Skaven because they have lots of cheap dudes they can carve to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you can definitely see it on a Skaven.
Yeah,
army, right?
Skaven and Demon
Okay,
Princes.
we're both Skaven. We drink.
We drink. And on that note, cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. I don't have a drink right now, but I'll go and get one from the fridge in a second. Yeah. So we talked a little bit before about combos and what you're going to take. We talked about how alchemy and pyromancy are going to combo really well.
Yeah.
Are there any other really good combos that you've seen off the bat
Cosmology?
in general?
Yeah.
I think cosmology mixed with witchcraft could be fun because you get lots of negatives. because you have the signature with the initiative, and then the weapon skill, and then the strength.
Yeah. But I'd rather just have
Double
more cosmology.
Yeah.
I think divination is solid still. I mean, multiple casters with divination. Like the conclave rule that adds 3 inches to the range of the spells if they're within 12 inches of another.
It's much more balanced than before, right?
It is. It's a lot more balanced than before, but it's also very, very strong because a lot of these spells can be auraed. So the auras become massive all of a sudden.
12-inch range if you've got 3 guys.
Right, so you've got 3 level 2s.
Yeah.
That's plus 9. Plus 6 for each caster.
Yeah.
That takes all the ranges to 24, and all the aura spells to 12.
That's plus 3.
Yeah,
so
per wizard.
Yeah, but so if you cast it, then you have plus 2.
Yeah, so that's plus 6.
Yeah, so...
To the aura spells.
Yeah.
12-inch aura bubbles are pretty strong.
Yeah, 24-inch bubble, right? Yeah, that's good. I mean, what's your favourite law?
Well, it's still going to be cosmology, just because it's so complex. There are so many rules, there's so many combinations, there are so many effects to keep track of. There are so many of the spells can be used in different ways. So I think what we will see are either a couple of mid-level mages or one really big one, like one level 4.
In cosmology?
No, like generally in the armies. I don't think we're going to see that many wizards necessarily.
I think you're going to see one wizard on flying cavalry, which is a high level wizard, and then a scroll caddy. Do you think you're going to see a scroll caddy still?
For my part, I've been playing King of Equitane, and most of my if I do, and it's rare, but if I include a level 4, she gets the scroll. Because if I have a level 4, I only have one wizard master. And if I'm casting spells with another wizard that's not the master, then I'm missing out on a +1 to cast.
Yeah.
So from a economical maximization kind of utility, whatever, blah blah blah, it's better to cast the most spells with the ones that's the most effective.
Yeah.
Which would be your master. So I always put the scroll on the master. And a law such as cosmology is amazing for a wizard master because you still have the signature. So you can alter your spell choices, and any doubles you get to choose the ones that have the real duality to them. Yeah. The real duality, the ones like number 6, where you either get 5+ war save or give opponents strength 3 hits, and touch of the heart, where you recover a wound or give a wound, and also to an extent perception of strength and ice and fire. There are many. There are 3 spells about, 3 or 4 spells that are really, really dual in purpose, and those are the spells you aim for, and obviously having a higher level means a higher chance of getting those spells.
Yeah.
Cosmology is by far the most interesting of the laws. Also the one that's probably the least available.
Yeah, it seems that only the elves and the Saurians can get it, I think.
Yeah.
So...
Maybe, the Nosferatu one can get it as well. Nosferatu.
Cool. I don't think it's that good for the undead.
Maybe not. It gives them something else. The range on this law is, however, something that should be noted.
Yeah,
it is 18 inches. Yeah. So the damage spells, you need to get close. But I can definitely see elves running like a unicorn / a warhawk. Eagle.
My initial reaction is to go with a unicorn level 4, or whatever equivalent is now, with cosmology or with druidism.
Druidism being very strong also.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think they really, really, really improved.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement.
Absolutely, I love it. I mean, there are so many new combinations, not even including the upcoming changes to army books and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, this in and of itself changes much of the meta. I mean, the Light Council Empire, it's gone. It's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Yeah. No more banishment.
No more banishment spam.
Yeah.
Well, it's there, but in a much fairer and more fun version. Like playing against a Vermin Swarm who just try to get yourself engaged with the Plague Monks and then cast Mind Razor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gone.
Sorry, Jonas.
Yeah, sorry, Jonas. Not sorry.
Yeah. Hashtag not sorry.
Hashtag not sorry. So those kind of cheeky one-offs are gone.
Yeah. I mean, my tournament list that I just Danish champion, just won the Danish biggest tournament in Denmark, biggest tournament in Scandinavia.
Hashtag swing the dick.
that list is gone now. I don't know what
Do you
law.
think?
No, the list is still there.
That's what I mean.
But I mean, I've seen the Sylvanov book, and the list is not there anymore. But it's I don't know what path I would use. I would probably choose cosmology, or the other one that gives minus weapon skill or initiative or something like that. Is there another one? I can't remember. Is it?
That must be.
I can't remember what other laws the Sylvanovs can use. I think it's divination.
Yeah, but that gives you like distracting and hard time.
Yeah, I think I would choose either divination or cosmology for my list.
Coming at this from Kingdom of Equitan's position, or perspective, you wanna run, I think, either very elite army with knights, like we're talking a lot of points and grill knights and characters, and then druidism, or you run a more like the flying circus / balanced approach, and you go with double divination. I don't see myself using shamanism, because I don't like first of all the lore tribute.
It's quite good for you guys. They're rushing the gun line.
Yes,
I think it's quite built for ETC lists actually, isn't it? When you think about it, because they do very specific things.
But I think much of the with the upcoming changes that is known to everyone, with the more well-rounded armies, with the more extreme builds being more restricted, I think we'll see that rushing gun lines become less important. So I'm not too sure that you have to build ETC lists, for instance, which sole purpose are to counter ETC lists. I think that when you also, because of the lesser availability of paths of magic to each army, I mean, on average, I think an army should have 2 or 3, or I think it's 3, closer to 3 available paths. I think we'll see people thinking the synergy into the army more so than before, where I think a lot of people saw, like, I know the Thundercocks guys coined the term the Swizzard. I listened to the podcast and they talk about how you add in the wizard whose purpose is to do what the rest of the army can't. So I think we'll see people trying to think in magic synergy to their army much more based on the available laws.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. I think what we're going to do now is wrap it up, and hopefully this has given you a good idea of what magic paths and spells there are.
If you want to see what paths and are available to your army, just go to the Saucy Inn on the 9th Inch forum, where I don't remember who it is, but he's posted
Giladis or
Giladis. Yeah. Well,
Marco.
He has made available the different. He has in a post shown what paths will be available to what armies.
Yeah. And you can also wait until Tuesday, and then all the information will be out for yourself. We will be doing, or at least recording, another episode on all the elf books on Sunday, and hopefully that will be released before the release, either Monday or Tuesday, if I can get it done in time. So stay tuned for that. Anything else?
Yeah, on the last final note, I would like to say that the new changes are probably going to divide people, not so much for Magic, but I think it's important to note that everyone should consider this as any improvement, any change is preferred to no change, because it levels the playing field. Like, even every time you reset the meta, you give new players a better chance of entering the tournament scene. Like, every time there's no meta, and the more restricted the extreme builds become, the more available the game becomes to everyone, even though it's very complex at the moment, which I think we'll talk about another time.
Yeah, that's probably episode 17.
Yeah, episode 17, the lack of streamlining.
Yeah, oh my days, where do you even begin with that? Cosmology. I was reading it on the way to work on my bike, and I was just reading it on my phone, and I was like, what?
Yeah. There are definitely challenges ahead, but I want everyone to keep an open mind and to not try to judge anything
until
too
you played
harshly
it.
until you've tried it.
Yeah, we don't have any idea. We think it looks good, and we think it looks fun.
And always remember that even though your army might have lost access to certain paths, other armies have too.
Yeah.
Other
It's-
armies have too. It's the
The
playing
Highborn
for-
Elves, three paths on the mages.
Yeah. So think about that before you pass any judgment saying, oh, my army has lost all its combat potential, or oh my god, I can't do my shooting wizard, whatever, anymore. It doesn't quite work like that because everything's new. Everything's new, everything's different. Try it out, see if it works. I think it's number 6 spell from Cosmology.
Which one was that?
That is the one that gives you either 5+ water save or every single model and opponent you
Okay, we'll play a game. You have to read your favourite spell, the fluff, in a funny voice.
Okay. Give it to me.
Oh, you got an easy one.
That's what I mean.
What's the voice going to be? Who's the voice going to be of? The cosmologist.
Who the fuck is a cosmologist? Like working in a makeup store.
That's a cosmeticist. Okay, do it in the voice of someone who works in a makeup store.
So the mage held the shield together with one hand, and while the other tore shots from the hole.
What?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't know what my favourite spell was. Then that's the. I want to do the dick measurer.
Oh yeah.
What voice should I do it in?
German.
German.
It's the Germans.
It's the Germans. My friend, pharmacology is a trial of belief. If you believe, then Sona will grant you not only her protection, but will destroy the enemies too. And no one can stand the will of Sona!
Perfect.